Hey guys, in this sermon clip, I talk about giving and money. Now, this is especially for Christians out there. If you're a follower of Jesus, if you're a Christian, if you consider yourself a Christian, I hope you'll watch this short clip and really take the challenge in it, the challenge to step up your giving. I share a little bit about my giving, how Tracy and I give personally, and some of the rules that we use, some of the challenges that we've taken in our life. And I hope if you're a follower of Jesus, you're willing to take the same challenge. Take a look.
See, I believe in the gift of giving. I believe everyone should give, but I also believe some people have the gift of giving. Do you know who I think should have the gift of giving? People who have a lot of money. But you know that's not usually how it works. The parable of the widow's mite, one of Jesus' parables on money, said this woman who had just 2 coins, and she gave it all. She had the gift of giving. She hardly had any money, but she had the gift of giving. What would it be like if we, wealthy people, had the gift of giving? We could change the world. You can honor God with your money. Money's a good thing, it's not a bad thing, but if you worship it, it's a bad thing because the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Not money, the love of money. When the Pharisees asked Jesus, what's the greatest commandment in all the law, he said, he gave them a 2-for-1, right? 2 things. He says, love God, love people. That's what he said. So apply that to your money. With your money, do you love God with it? That means it should impact your giving. It should impact your giving. My wife and I, one of our financial goals, years ago, one of our financial goals is we said this, and I hesitate to say this, but I want to say this because I want there to be something really practical you can sink your teeth into if you're a follower of Jesus. One of our financial goals is we said we don't want to give on a monthly basis more to anything above God. That, by the way, was our answer to that question. How do you know if we love money more than God? We just said, let's just try to be like super simple about it. Like the number one thing we give to, if we look at our budget, and you sort of stack out. I really encourage you. We're going to talk about budgeting in future lessons. But if we just budget stuff and we say, okay, what's the number one thing on a monthly basis we give our money to? And I encourage you to think about this for yourself. We said, we want that slot to be God. That was our goal. And years ago we hit that goal. The first home we moved into was a very modest home, and our mortgage was low, and it did not take us long to hit that financial goal where we were giving, because our mortgage, I don't know about you, but maybe for some of you it's your cable bill or your phone bill, but for us it was our mortgage. And we got to this point years ago, where we hit our goal, our financial goal. The number one thing at the top of our monthly budget list was God. We gave more to Alpine Church and to missions than to anything else on a monthly basis. And then we moved. Do you know why? Because a leech has 2 suckers that cry, more, more. We were the 2 suckers. My wife and I, it's just in all of us. Let's just admit it. Like we just want more. And our home was fine. It was wonderful. It was beautiful. We didn't have sidewalks. And there were old people everywhere in our neighborhood. Now we're the old people in our neighborhood. No, it wasn't a bad thing. I'm not saying moving is bad. We moved. It was still modest. We still didn't feel like if you were to come over to our home that you'd be like judging us that we're terrible people. Maybe some of you would. But it's still a very modest home. But you know what happened? The mortgage hit the top of the list. Giving took the second place. And it bothered us, but it was a reality for us. Until last year. Last year, finally, we got to the place, and I know this because I just did my taxes. Last year, we finally got to the place where God took over the top spot again. What about you? I know some of you are like, holy cow, what are you saying right now? I'm just asking you to, if you're a follower of Jesus, I'm just asking you to really evaluate, are you honoring God with your money? And how would you even know? I challenge you with this. Let me just challenge you with this thing, because I know that might be a little too, in the 9 o'clock, I really got all prophet on them, and I decided to tone it down a little bit for you. But I want to give you some meat to actually do. Just pick one thing on your budget that you're going to get giving over the top of. Just pick your cable bill. Say, okay, here's our budget. Here's everything. Here's what we spend on cable every month. We are going to make a commitment as a family that we are going to give more to the kingdom of God than to cable. Just start there. Some of you are like, what? That's like, you're asking me to give $150 to the church? And some of you, that is ridiculous. A ridiculous amount of money. To me, $150 for cable is a ridiculous amount of money. That's why we still have rabbit ears. Like, for real. Our kids make fun of us still. They're like, Mom and Dad, do you realize that we're the only people that don't have cable? And you know what I say to them is, I want my kids to love God more than anything. Someday when they move out of the house, we'll get cable. We'll have the money. But for now, we want to make sure that we're giving more to God than to anything else in our budget. So there's my challenge to you. And you know, I challenge you to go home, and maybe it's not cable, maybe it's just your cell phone bill. Guys, if we can't love God more than our cell phones, more than our cable, more than our car payment, someday, hopefully for many of you, more than our house payment, what are we doing?
All right, now you can use the questions below this video to talk about this with your spouse or with a small group or with a mentor. And I hope you'll take this challenge as you continue to pursue God and help other people to do the same thing.